Hello Reborners, my name is Karen and this is Making Dolls with Karen. As promised, I'm right back from making Candy's video, and now we're on Lane. Lane just has light pink, very, very light pink on his hands and feet. We're going to go with that because it doesn't seem to be taking any additional color. I'm going to now put a layer, or 2 layers actually, of 05 on him because, well, I just think that he needs some more color. He's not very dark. But his lips are looking pretty good. They're light-ish, but see how nice they look? And his nails are equally as good. They're very light, but they're very smooth and nice looking. I don't know if you can tell. But we're going to just give him some color now. And hopefully these layers are going to make him the color we want him to be. Okay, that's nice and gushy wet. He is such a cute little baby. He's so tiny, his head's just little. He's gonna make a cute little doll, I think. I never had a Lane before. I never even bothered with trying to get him because in the pictures, you know, sometimes the picture that the prototype artist does isn't flattering. And you think, okay, that's a strange looking doll. But then you actually, if you don't go and look at the actual blank kit, you don't know if you're getting a cute doll or not. Because sometimes their rendition is not one you like. But that doesn't mean the doll isn't cute when you get, you know, finished making it. Oh, this is way too wet. I'm going to have to dab off so much paint. I didn't realize it was so wet already from just doing Candy. And I put a lot more paint on it, and oh my goodness, look at how much paint's on him. It's way too much. Okay, let's just start dabbing it off. It is way too much. I'm gonna probably need another dry sponge beyond this one and that one. I usually have a sort of wettish sponge, that's this one. And then I have one that's a little bit drier, and that's that one. And usually between those two, I can get off all the unwanted paint. But this doll is super wet. I just have to say, that is a super lot of paint on him. Heavy. We have to be extra careful dabbing him off, that we don't leave any excess on him. It will look very rashy and dirty and ugly. And he's such a cute little doll, I don't want that to happen. So I'm gonna be getting out another sponge probably. I had to order more sponges from Amazon, the softer ones. These are those real hard, dense ones I'm using right now. Not this one that I apply the paint with. I cannot apply paint with those hard, dense ones. They just don't let go of the paint good enough for me. So, I'm going to be probably getting out another softer brush to dab him with. I have a whole big old bag full that I got from Amazon. I ordered them about a week ago, and I haven't really had to open them yet. But here we go. These are my favorite right here. They are absolutely the best, and I wouldn't swap them for anything. I've in the past had to pay multiple different prices for these sponges because of, well, when you go on Amazon, you're not actually buying straight from Amazon, the company, so much as there's vendors that put their stuff in Amazon. And these vendors all charge different prices. And when the lower priced ones have run out of sponges and you need sponges, you have to go to a higher price one, or else don't make dolls till the lower priced ones come on sale. I can't do without my sponges, so during COVID and a little bit after that, the prices were extremely, you used to get these at Walmart, and the whole pack was like $1.89 or something. It was real cheap. Now I'm paying like $5 and something a pack for them, but I have to have them. I really feel, I think the manufacturers of these figured out Oh, people are using them to make reborn dolls and they have to have them? Okay, let's double our price. Which is about what they did. They're about double, a little more than double now than what they used to be way back in the day when I just run in Walmart and pick them up. Uh, Walmart quit carrying them for some reason. I guess these denser ones became more popular, these really, really hard, dense ones. But they're okay for makeup, probably. I mean, I don't know. I don't wear makeup, but they're probably okay for makeup. But I just don't know how they. I don't know how they work for makeup. Let's put it that way. I just know that they're not okay for making dolls. Not much. I buy them from Dolls by Sandy because they're so cheap there. You can get a bag full of them for $2. And at one time they had some that were on clearance and they were 50 cents. And I bought all that I could from that lot until they ran out. And I mean, I didn't buy all of their sponges. I just bought, you know, enough to what I needed. And every time I needed them, I'd buy that kind because they, I don't know, they didn't look any different to me. They were slightly smaller. And when I say slightly, I mean ever so tiny bit smaller. That was the only difference I could see in them. It was like they just shaved off a little piece or something. They were just probably from a different manufacturer. And they were every bit as good as these. And they were 50 cents for a bag. And I was ecstatically pleased with that price. But, however, they ran out quick. And so I ended up having to buy the $2 ones now. They have some that are more than $2 too. I guess when the $2 ones run out, I don't know, maybe I won't buy them anymore. If they start to not be worth it. I only use them because they're cheap. And they do dab off paint just fine. I don't like the way they put it on. I tried to use them for that too, and it was just, no. It's a no. And so I just use them for the taking off. Oh, I know that I'm getting these videos posted very, very slowly. It's because the internet is so slow. Sometimes it's not, though. Sometimes it's pretty fast, and I can download bunches of videos in one day. And other times it'll say, oh, it's going to take 7 hours. I go, for one video, and it's 15 minutes long? Okay, whatever, you know. And so it seems to y'all like I'm not working on my dolls, but I am. And it just seems like, okay, maybe she's taking a break or something. Well, she's having trouble downloading her videos. That's the problem. A couple of people actually send me messages and ask, am I okay if I don't post a doll in a certain length of time? They're thinking something happened to me. One time I did get real sick and I didn't post a doll for like 2 weeks. And they were like, oh, are you okay? Is something wrong? I had the flu, I think. And I said, yeah, I'm okay. I just couldn't make dolls because I was sick. And then there was when we moved in here. I had to take time off from making dolls to move in. And for a while we didn't have the internet. We didn't have our furniture. You wouldn't believe how long we went without furniture because nobody could help us move. And it's a good thing we weren't moving out of an apartment that was expecting us to be out by a certain day. I was moving out of my son's attic, and my sister was moving out of her son's house. So if our stuff sat there for a while, it wasn't such a big deal, you know. But we had to get somebody to help us move our stuff. And it was next to, it wasn't impossible, but it was right next door to impossible. We went months without furniture, literally. And my other son, not the one I was living with, had some mattresses. He said, I don't have any beds for you, Mama. If I did, I'd bring them. But he brought over some mattresses, and we were laying on the floor on mattresses, literally, at our age. It was awful. And then we little by little got stuff, and eventually, almost all my stuff's over here now. I still have some boxes of things over there. My son doesn't think so, but I said, I've been up there and looked. I know that they're there. One of them's got my robes in it, and I want my robes. Winter's coming, and I have 2 or 3 different kinds of robes for different temperatures of the weather. I have one that's short sleeve and made out of, I don't know, maybe cotton. I don't know what it's made out of. And then I have one that's 3/4 sleeve that's made out of terry. And then I have another one that's fleecy and it's got long sleeves and goes all the way to the floor. And it's my best robe. It's my warmest one. And I want to wear it this winter. So I need to get it from his house. Every time I go over there, which isn't very often because I don't have a way, I'll get some of my stuff that I can just stick in either my granddaughter or my grandson will come pick me up. And they have tiny little cars. My grandson has a Mustang. And it does have a back seat and a tiny little trunk. But he's got crap in there that he carries around. Like in his trunk, he's got some part of his speaker system or his stereo system, I don't really know what it is actually in the trunk, and it takes up the whole tiny little trunk. And his back seat is just full of junk that he goes back and forth to school, and he has a bunch of crap in there that he carries around with him. And so to get something in his vehicle, it has to be small and fit on top of the stuff in the back seat, or I have to hold it on my lap in the front seat because it's only like a little 2-seater, you know. The back seat is so narrow and tiny that if you were to try to get into it, you would have to contort yourself into some other shape to do it. It's just very tiny. I don't know how they can even call that a back seat. It's ridiculously small. And my other grandson that has a vehicle, his is always either wrecked or broke down, or he just doesn't keep his up. It's not such a big deal to him. They both work, but they have jobs that they can work at. It's with, I know my one grandson does remodeling houses. He's the one with the Mustang though. And he works with some other people who have the trucks that have the tools and stuff. He's just a worker. And but my other grandson, I don't really know what he does. I don't know. And he doesn't keep his vehicles up. So his is almost always broke down. And my granddaughter, she is in her 20s now. And she is working in Alamo, which is a bit away from here. It's another county, it's another city, it's a little piece away, let me tell you. And it's not as far as Memphis. Memphis is about 50 miles from here. It's not that far, but it's too far for her to run over and take me places every time I want to go. I rarely ever see her, and when she comes with her boyfriend, and he rides a motorcycle. So she's on the back of the motorcycle, so therefore she doesn't have any place for me to put anything either for her to bring it to me. So it's a vicious cycle, kind of. And my son, even though he comes, he doesn't really believe there's anything still upstairs of mine. So he doesn't go up and look. He just thinks, oh, you're mistaken. I've got everything out. See, it's a long story. I had a vehicle, and it was in such pitiful poor shape. And I had it for a long time, almost the entire time I lived at my son's attic, which was more than a year. Almost that entire time, my other son had it at his house, and he was going to work on it. Well, I couldn't do it this week. I couldn't do it this week. Every week, I couldn't do it. Because he works constantly, absolutely constantly. And so I finally said, just bring it to me. I'll just ride it. I'll just drive it till it breaks down. So he brought it to me, and it was running. He did a little bit of tiny work on it, and it was running. And I went and got tags for it because, well, it had been over a year sitting in his yard, and so I didn't need any tags. And so I went and got the tags, and I was about to start moving. So I loaded the car up, and I came over here and unloaded the stuff. And I was on my way back to go back and get another load, and I stopped over there at Walmart, which is literally across the street from here, and got some gas. Wouldn't crank. Would not go. Every time you put it in gear, it quit. And it was so frustrating. finally had to call my son at work and say, you know what, I'm stranded over here at Walmart. The car won't go. I can't do anything. And well, okay. He took it back to his house and brought me home. And I said, look, I'm tired of fooling with it. Just scrap the thing and bring me the money. So he gave me $300 and he sold it instead. And we're going to paint him over now. So I got $300 out of that scrap vehicle. That's what scrap goes for, $300 for a vehicle that size. And he knows because he scraps. He scraps stuff all the time. He has his hands in a lot of different enterprise making things. He raises pigs. He raises more than pigs, but pigs is the most is the thing he raises the most. He was raising goats with another guy, but I think they all got coyotes got them or something. Even though Ripley is considered a city, it's very rural. You might walk right out inside of this apartment building and see a coyote, literally. There's just wildlife everywhere. Deer can be in your yard anytime, and so it's not unusual for coyotes to get goats all the time, and small dogs and all kind of things. Anyway, I think Coyote's got all his chickens and his goats. He can't keep chickens because he don't pin them up. He just lets them run loose in the yard, and they run off. Something gets them. They just end up at somebody else's yard. Oh, here's a chicken. Let's feed it. Maybe it'll stay here, you know. And then they get the eggs. Anyway, it's he does a lot of things to make money, and one of them's scrapping. He will go around, if he's just driving down the street and he sees an old refrigerator on somebody's porch or an old stove or anything that looks like scrap to him, he'll say, hey, you want me to get rid of that for you? And he'll take it and he'll scrap it and get some money for it. He's very enterprising that way. Most people won't give you an old car in their yard because they already know they can scrap that. And but a lot of people don't realize, oh, that piece of iron over there or that steel over there or whatever, I could scrap that too, you know. And so he does make money at that. And aluminum cans, they're not, I don't think they're going for very much anymore. There was a time way back when people first started selling aluminum cans that you could get a pretty penny for them. We saved aluminum cans for, I don't know, a year. And we went and sold them and made some money, I'm telling you. But I don't think they go for very much. But he still saves them. He still does it. He wants to make money every way he can, and he does it. He's very enterprising that way. He lays carpet, he pours concrete, he knows how to do every freaking thing. He's had so many different jobs in his 40 years of life that he really can do. He does automotive work, he does, just everything. There's just a lot of things he knows how to do. He can lay flooring, not just carpet, hard floors as well. He can install windows. He also worked at a job where he remodeled houses for a guy and learned a lot of skills. He can even do electrical and plumbing work. My little grandson, my little 20-year-old grandson, well, he's 19, came over and put our faucet in. He belongs to my other son, though. And he's been raising them boys right, let me tell you. He's been teaching them everything. He's mentored them from little children, just like his daddy did him. My husband mentored his children to do all kinds of handiwork. They can do all kinds of things. Install ceiling fans, just almost anything you can name, they can do it. And so he has taught his children as well. My younger son doesn't have any children. He doesn't really care if he ever has any. He doesn't really want children. He said, if I had some, I'd take them. I wouldn't just throw them out or anything. But he said, I don't really care if I ever have any. And he's 40 now, so all the girls now that he goes out with are in their 40s. So most of them have had all the children they want. Some of them even have kind of grown-y children. I mean, if you had your children at 20, they're 20 now. And so, they're not looking to have any more kids. And a lot of them are fixed. So they just don't want no more children. And so it's not likely that he'll be having any children now. In or out of wedlock, either one. Both of my children were married and divorced. My older son got remarried. My younger son said, nope, not doing that again. Anyway, these are the stories of my life. My younger son is working so hard because he wants to get the house finished. I don't know if y'all remember me saying that back in 2016, our house burned to the ground. I mean, completely burnt up into ashes. They could not put the fire out. And we started building on another house, and the builder, it was so awful what happened to us. I guess I was just too stupid to know any better. He swindled us out of our money and absconded. We can't even find him. And so, the house is partially built. He worked on it enough to where he kind of tricked me. I'm just naive, I guess. I don't know that much about anything. He'd go, okay, well, I'm half through with the air conditioning. Will you give me half the money? That sounded fair. Okay, he said, I do have to feed my family even though we're not finished. But I've halfway got done, so can you give me half the money? And he kept doing that until the money was pretty much all gone. And then he just never showed back up again. We looked and looked for him. We don't know what happened. He was just gone. And I don't know. We didn't ask for any sort of to see any sort of a license or anything that really proved who he was. We were just stupid. We just wanted our house built. That's all we wanted. Anyway, the house ended up about half finished. Everything, half finished. And so I couldn't even get a loan at the bank to get it finished because, well, nobody's going to loan you money on a half finished house because if something happened and you didn't repay the loan, they'd get something they couldn't sell probably. And so they wouldn't give us anything for it. Anyway, I exhausted all the means I had to fix the house, and I just got tired of doing it. I said, at my age, I ain't worrying about that house no more. I just deeded it over to my son, and he lives in it the way it is. It's very unfinished. Some of the rooms don't even have all the sheetrock up, for heaven's sakes. And I mean, he could put the sheetrock up. That's not the problem. The problem is there's something that is preventing the sheetrock from going up. Like there's no electrical in this room, so you can't put up the sheetrock till you put up the electrical, or the plumbing isn't finished in that room, or something. There's something. He got one bathroom working, and it was going to have 3 bathrooms. The house was going to be 3 bathrooms, and 1 bathroom works. It's ridiculous, really, when you think about it. Some of the things that happened, which we didn't know at the time, because we didn't just hang out at the house all the time. You just leave your contractor to build your house, and you just go out there every now and then and look at what he's done, And that's what we were doing, and we didn't know that, the bathtub's sitting over here, but really the pipe is way over there. And there's no room over there for the bathtub. He didn't measure correctly, and so that's one of the reasons all the walls aren't up and stuff. You can't get to the plumbing because it was wonky. It was done wonky. So my son he got it bricked. He got the house bricked. He saved up the money and hired a bricker, and the bricker came out and bricked the house. And he got that done already. But he doesn't think he can just get somebody to do every little separate job. He thinks he's going to have a big lump sum of money before anybody's going to want to undertake that sort of a job. So he's working really, really hard, and he's saving as much money as he can in the bank to get the house finished. I'd like to see it finished before I die. I don't know if it ever will be, but he seems satisfied to live in it like it is. The only rooms that have any flooring other than concrete is the kitchen and the laundry room, because they were going to have this certain kind of tile on it, and him and one of his friends just came in there one day and started laying the tile, and they got that done. And he has the carpet, but he hasn't put it down. It's just like, almost to him, it's not important. I don't know, but I don't know. I just gave it to him. It's going to be his when I die anyway, and I prefer to live in town. So it's too hard with no vehicle to get anywhere out in the country like that. So I came to town and rented an apartment. And long story short, in and out of this apartment complex over and over. Well, I was in the apartment complex almost continually for 8 years, about 7, maybe 7. Because I was a year at my son's attic, and I don't know exactly how long it's been that I've been here, but I've been in a 1-bedroom apartment first, and then my sister came to live with me, and we got a 2-bedroom apartment. And funny, it was the one right next door to the one we're in now. And then at that time, Walmart here was not delivering groceries. We had to go to the store and get our groceries. And I had a car, and so it was no problem. So we went to the store and we'd get our groceries, and then we had to bring them upstairs. And even at our age then, it was too hard. We couldn't do it. So we asked to be put downstairs. And so they put us on the front of the building downstairs. And we stayed there for a long time until my sister's ex-husband, they were divorced, got cancer, and oh, there goes my sponge right on the floor. Gonna have hairs on it now, probably. She felt that even though they were, got polyfill and everything on it, even though they were divorced, she felt a need to take care of him. And she went up there to stay with him and take care of him because he was really bad. And I didn't want to live there by myself and foot all the expenses by myself. That's why I moved out and moved in with my son. And I stayed there I would have stayed, but it was just too hard. I just couldn't. I couldn't do the stairs anymore. It was too much. Just me going up and down the stairs would have been fine, but it was the totality of everything I had to do that was so hard. And so I decided, her husband died, and so I said, you know what, I'm going to find another apartment. Are you coming back with me? And she said, yes. So I found this apartment. I looked on the website, and as soon as they had one available, I applied for it. And here we are, back in the apartment complex. Okay, he's painted. I'm going to check his lips and nails now and see if he needs a little more on them. I know his nails do, and I'm pretty sure his lips do too. I'm going to get this back out because if I see anything that needs dabbing while I'm doing it, I'll dab it. He's looking really, really good to me. Yep, I see that right there, right off the bat. What is that? It's very dark, whatever it is. Okay. All right, I need a sponge that has a little more substance to it to get that out of the corner of his eyes. I ordered some swabs and stuff from Walmart, but they can't deliver till tomorrow because I waited so late in the day. I had to wait till I got my paycheck to order all these things because, you know, you just need the money for other things unless you got a lot of money in the bank. And the only time I have a lot of money in the bank is the beginning of the month. But it's really the end of the month because, well, Chime gives you your money early. And I got it yesterday, I believe it was. And I I didn't order right away because I wanted to pay my bills first. Got to pay the important stuff first. And so I did. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to order my other stuff. I never did order it. I'm going to order it now. And so I ordered it earlier today, but all the spots for delivery were already taken up. I could have paid $5 and gotten it in 3 hours or less, but I just didn't want to do that because it was kind of getting late, and I wasn't going to want to put all that stuff away tonight. And I just said, in the morning's fine, and I'll save $5. So when you live on Social Security, every dollar you can save is a blessing. I'm really counting on being able to sell a lot of dolls this Christmas season to bump up my income level a little bit, get some bills paid off, some of the ones I'm having to make monthly payments on. I hate making monthly payments. It's so awful. That is a little bit out of his little lip line there. And I wiped too much off, so I have to put some more back on. I don't like, I'm still having to make a furniture payment. While I was at my son's, I had to get 2 different things. One was an air conditioner, and the other one was a refrigerator, a little small refrigerator to keep upstairs, because my big refrigerator, the one I have here in the apartment now, was downstairs in his garage, and I didn't want to go downstairs every time I wanted a drink or anything. So, I could keep yogurts and drinks and, little things in there, and then just go down for big things. He's got a little spot on his nose as well. I wish I had some swabs. That would be awesome right now to have some swabs, but I don't even have any round swabs, the ones you keep in your bathroom. I've used them up too, trying to not have to buy anything until I just really, really had to. Okay, there's his lips painted. I'm going to do his nails now. He's a little heavy. He almost wants to fall forward. He's a little, I don't want to call it top heavy. He's front heavy. He wants to fall forward. Okay, this will be the second coat, which will make his nails a lot darker this time because there's already a coat underneath it for it to stick to. It sticks much better the second time, and the third time, and the fourth time, or however many times you feel like you need to do it. I like to do it as few times as possible. Usually 2 to 3 times is all that it takes, depending on how dark you want the nails and how thickly you apply it. But just keep in mind that if you apply it very thick, it's going to run to the base of the nail and look like you just outlined the whole nail with a darker color. When we was kids, we used to like to color a lot in coloring books. But we were just weird kids, I guess. I don't know any other kids that ever did this, that I ever saw their coloring book pictures. We would outline our pictures. We thought it looked really good. Sometimes would outline, well, whatever color you were coloring that section in the coloring book, you'd outline it darker with that color. Or we just outlined the whole picture with black, heavy black crayon. And we thought it looked super good that way. And we'd take pictures to our mother. Look what we made for you. And she'd always hang them on the refrigerator and tell us they were beautiful. When, I think they were really ugly. We'd color a squirrel, say brown, and then we'd give them a black tail. And the same thing with a girl. If she had a ponytail, we'd make her hair brown or something, then she'd have a black ponytail. We thought that was pretty. Once in a while, we'd purposely paint a picture. Paint. We didn't paint. My mother hardly ever let us paint because it was so messy. We'd color a picture all the wrong colors. Let's make the grass purple and the trees orange, and just everything would be the wrong color. Make the sun blue and the sky, red or something like that, just to see how creative we could be and how pretty we could make our picture. And we thought it was beautiful. Of course, we were just little kids. This was when we lived in Chicago. And the oldest age I was there was 8. And so, yeah. I only went to 3rd grade there, and I was 8 in the 3rd grade, so that's the oldest age I was. Sometimes when you're painting nails like this, you'll get some of them darker, which I try not to do. But if you do, don't fret or anything, because on the next coat you just skip those nails that are darker. And they come out pretty much the same. As long as they're close, everything's good. This is how his nails look now. And now I'm going to paint them and you can see the difference. They're always going to look darker when they're wet. That much you can count on for sure. They're going to be somewhat darker. Sometimes it's not that much. Sometimes it's a lot. It just depends on the paint, how thick you made it. You know, stuff like that. And now here's his nails painted. It looks a lot darker, but it won't look near that dark after it comes out of the oven. We're going to get him in now for his bake. Swish my brush. I need to change my table. It's terrible. And I need to dip these brushes I have all laying out here and get them put back up. I just have too much of a mess on my table. Anyway, we're going to get him back in the oven and we're going to get him baked so he can get his next color, which will be warm blush. So I'm going to remind everybody, please like, subscribe, and share, and happy reborning.